What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another commentary video. First of all, I just want to say thank you all so much for the support on the last couple of videos. It means a lot to me that you guys are still enjoying this content. I love making it. It's my favorite thing that I've really ever made, and I made a lot of stuff on the internet. And today we have a bit of another request. So I got a message here from somebody that's been watching the video, so I'm going to go ahead and read that really fast for you guys. What's going on, Hunter? My name is Nicholas. I'm currently in my 11th year in the United Kingdom. I have no clue what the fuck 11th year means, but I'm going to assume that means your junior year of high school, is my guess. But I just wanted to ask you a question. I don't really know what I want to do with my life, but one thing that I've always loved is art. I know that that's something that you've always been interested in via your Twitter and also making content on the internet for people for many years. But I have my parents down my throat constantly telling me that I need to figure out what I want to do and that art is not going to be the answer. I want to know what you think about this and what advice you can give me to reach these goals. All right, this one kind of hits pretty close to home for me. So a little bit of backstory here. If you guys aren't aware, I'm currently in school for broadcast journalism, and I studied graphic design while I was in high school, and I got a certificate for that. And both of my parents don't have creative jobs. Both of them work in pretty mundane jobs. My mom has worked for a company for many years. My dad owns his own construction company. And I think that it was always hard to explain to them what I want to do, and it still is. Especially when it comes to my dad, explaining to him why I make videos and what I'm doing, right? It's never been something that he's been into or interested in, so it's always been a bit of a challenge to explain that to him, especially. And from a relatively young age, they both kind of expressed this disdain for what I do. And not that they thought that it was a bad thing to do as a hobby, but that it won't be my career. And part of that is that I use that to fuel what I make online. Part of that is that I use it constantly to remind myself what I'm doing here and what I want to prove, right? And I use that as fuel every single day. And they weren't always like down my throat or yelling me for wasting my quote unquote time with this, but it was more, what are you going to do with your future? And that's why I'm currently in school. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. I think that everybody should try to chase a creative avenue, whether if that's art, music, fucking video creation, or fucking, I don't know, a fucking porn star, brother. Do what you want to do, right? That's what I'm going to tell you, is try to do what you want to do, but go in with this realistic expectation that not every single person is going to make it, and have some sort of plan. I don't want you to be one of these people that throw every other priority out of the window and they just focus on what they're passionate about, right? Before you know it, you're going to be fucking broke on the streets, right? And for me, I've never necessarily put this over everything else. I've always worked, I've always been in school, or I've always done something, right? I've never sort of just fucking said, fuck it, I'm quitting my job and I'm just doing YouTube. I never have done that, and I've always put other things above YouTube. And this is and always will be my creative outlet. But what I'm going to tell you is I don't want you to be upset at your parents for not understanding what you want to do or what you create. But what I am going to tell you is I want you to use some of that negativity that is being thrown your way and to prove them wrong. Start selling commissions of your art. That's really the easiest place for you fucking artists to get started. Is make a Twitter account and start trying to sell your artwork. Start focusing on trying to move up in your craft. Learn new techniques. Learn new programs. What is it about your art that makes it stand out? That's a thing that you need to remember in any creative industry. Is you need to remember, why am I going to do better than others? And for art, what about my style stands out from every other fucker selling gay furry porn on Twitter? What makes me stand out? What makes me stand out from those on Reddit that are posting in fucking r/Overwatch fucking Rule 34, right? What makes me stand out from them? And I want you to figure out what that is. And for me, I've always done this. I've always basically stopped, whether when I was making music or if it's when it came to videos. What makes me stand out from others? I always stopped and I always thought about that. I still think about it a lot. And one of those many things that I think about is, number one, my voice. I relatively have a radio friendly sounding voice. And then also my life experience is sort of the two things that I use. What makes me stand out, right? What makes me rememberable to people? And I want to tell you that in every single creative industry, there's not a creative industry where you're going to need to stick out, right? And if you just feel like you're a fucking Joe Schmo and you never figure out what is your technique, what is your craft, what is your thing that makes you stand out, you need to find that. And we think about this with comedians all the time, right? When it comes to comedians, they constantly are innovating. They are constantly different. There is really no comedian that are alike, in the sense that there are no two comedians that are identical in size, that are so just copycats, right? When you look at, some comedians like, Patrice O'Neal, who really focused his comedy on making fun of others and really involving the crowd in that, right? There's artists and comedians that have done that for decades, but people haven't done it in the way that Patrice does it. Or when you take somebody that like Louis C.K. Louis C.K. is somebody that really utilizes his own experience and his own experience of being poor, being rich, being at all different aspects of his life, and being able to make fun of himself while making fun of the system that has put him in these places. So I want you to find that. And once you find that, once again, you can start selling that, you can start marketing that, and center your marketing and yourself around that. When you are able to sort of demonstrate what your difference is and what makes you stand out, you're going to start noticing something. People are going to be coming to you for that thing. And I don't think that a lot of people realize this, but that's what makes us attracted to so many different actors or actresses or content creators, is it's based off of what they're giving us that others aren't. And when I take an example like jschlatt is somebody that stands out for a lot of many different reasons, and he knew that from the start. When you look at jschlatt's earlier content, he didn't really use that New York accent as much as he does now. But that New York accent is one of the first things that a jschlatt viewer will think of, right? He found what people think of when they think of jschlatt. And he used that in his marketing scheme and in his branding scheme, right? And no matter how small you are, you need to start thinking and creating your own branding scheme. That is a big part of what makes you different. I did it a long time ago, and it's really important to get down pat as soon as possible. And you're not going to figure it out right away. Take some time, write down some ideas that you think may stand out, and talk to others. And whether if that is friends, it's even more better if it's not friends and some fucking randos. What do they think of you? When they look at your art, they look at what you make. What makes you stand out, right? What makes them feel that you were different from every other artist? What is it? And once you figure out what that thing is, you need to break it down a bit. And that's when you can start creating your identity around that simple idea that your friends, whoever, is telling you you are like. And I feel that is a really important step in creating sort of this avenue to be successful in your desired industry. And once again, work at it, and it's going to suck. I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but when you are grinding and you are attempting to grow, you're attempting to be the person that you want to be, it's not always the most fun. I cannot tell you how many late nights I've had staring into a MacBook screen as I create thumbnails or create a new logo, or I create branding for the channel, or I work in a fucking edit. And I loved every second of it. But at times it was tiring. And at times it made me want to quit. And at times it made me feel like I wasn't doing what I wanted to be doing. But every single step that I took, I knew mattered, and I knew was helping me improve and to create what I wanted to create. And that's a super super duper important aspect to remember when you're working towards these goals and you're trying to prove either someone or something wrong. Is that step number one is that you need to work towards it. If you tell your parents that aren't necessarily believing in what you create that, hey, I'm going to do this thing, and you have nothing to show for it, they're not going to be as supportive as you want them to be. If you aren't showing them that people are interested in what you create, they won't fucking show interest. And that is something that I think is really, really important to remember while you're starting out in this field. And I don't want to see you give up. I genuinely do want to see you succeed. I want you to create something super fucking interesting and different. But it's going to take hard work. And you need to know that there are going to be people that put you down. And sometimes it's going to be the closest people to you. And guess what? Every time it fucking happens, makes you want to quit. It fucking sucks. But it's part of the creative process. And I hope that you do great in that creative process. And I want you to learn from that creative process. And I want to see you grow and create something so fucking unique and different that you're going to take off immediately. I want that for you. And I can't wait to hear about it, is really the truth. Because in my opinion, almost anybody can succeed in the creative industry. It just takes dedication and time. You really need to work for it, and you need to have passion for it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was today's commentary video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you have any questions of your own or you want to hear me talk about something, shoot a DM my way, leave a comment, whatever it may be. I will do my best to get to it and create a video on it. Anyways, I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Go down there, hit that subscribe button, press that like button, go down there, follow me on all my social medias and Noah's social medias, and also join our Discord so that you don't miss up on any updates that we post about the channel, what's going on in me and Noah's life. Anyways, guys, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and peace.